If your iPad setup feels like it's working against you, whether it's the wrong angle, you're losing your pencil, or you're constantly adjusting, this video is going to fix that. Today, I'm breaking down my complete iPad productivity setup, the accessories that make it work, and the apps and shortcuts that keep me creating consistently. I have built everything inside of the Apple ecosystem, and my iPad is central to that workflow. It's where I plan content, take notes, sketch my ideas, and stay organized on the go. But here's what I've learned: the physical setup matters just as much as your digital space. One of the biggest friction points I had with my iPad workflow was the physical setup. That's what made me want to try something different. And that's why I started looking at other options. And the MOFT Dynamic Folio caught my attention, and they're sponsoring this portion of the video. This is the MOFT Dynamic Folio for my iPad Pro 12.9. The first thing I noticed is that it's incredibly thin and light. This one piece origami inspired design weighs just about 10.5 ounces, and for something that does this much, it is impressive. So let me show you the modes because this is where it gets interesting. First up is the floating creation mode, and this is my go-to for writing and drawing with my Apple Pencil. The angle is comfortable for long sessions, and the elevation brings the screen up so I'm not hunching over or uncomfortable. When I'm mapping out content ideas in freeform or scripting a video in Apple Notes, this angle puts the screen right where my hands fall naturally. There is no strain or adjusting. It is just a comfortable, focused, creative work session. I am in love with the floating theater mode. And can you hear that snap? It is such a satisfying sound. The magnets are solid and the iPad stays exactly where you put it. When I'm on a client call or a team meeting, this height brings the camera right to eye level, and I'm not looking down at the screen, I'm looking straight ahead. When I'm working on my Mac and I need reference material alongside me, whether it's a script, a research note, the content calendar, or a mood board, I put the iPad right next to my monitor. It sits at the perfect height to glance over without breaking my focus or disrupting my main flow. Now, when I'm doing research for an upcoming video or working through a long article, portrait mode is the most natural orientation for me. It feels like holding a book and the content flows vertically the way my eyes naturally reads. This is also the mode I use when I'm reviewing scripts or reading through my client documents or even going over or practicing my script. This is by far my favorite mode, which is the dual screen mode. This is the mode I didn't know I needed, but once I started using it, I was impressed about how it made a difference. I have found that dual screen mode works perfectly for when I'm planning content in freeform or I'm sketching out a layout. In this way, my reference stays visible on the phone while I work on my iPad, and this gives me two screens with one workflow. Now, I pay attention to details, and this one is the one that I really appreciate, which is the modular magnetic pencil holder that's actually a ruler too. It clips magnetically onto the folio, and your pencil is always there, always accessible. The quick release makes it even easier to grab your pencil mid workflow. And listen, for days when I want a light carry, just the iPad without the full folio, the snap case has the same premium feel. It is compatible with my 12.9 iPad Pro, and guess what? It works with the Magic Keyboard and pencil holder too. If you want to check out the MOV Dynamic Folio or any of the other accessories I showed you today, everything is linked in the description below. You can use my code in the description at checkout for an exclusive discount. Now that the physical setup is sorted, let's get into the digital side because the accessories set the stage, but the settings and systems are what make the iPad actually powerful. The first thing I set up on any iPad is focus modes. I know a lot of people skip this because it seems complicated, but once it's set up, it runs automatically and it completely changes how intentional your iPad use becomes. I want you to think of focus modes as different versions of your iPad for different types of work. I have four of them, so let's explore what they are. Okay, so I am going to go over into settings. And then I'm going to go down to focus. All right. Now, if you notice, by default, you will have like do not disturb, work, personal, and maybe sleep or reduce interruptions, especially if you're setting it up for the first time. Now, for me, I like to create custom focus modes because I tie it to my environment in terms of the home screen as well as the lock screen. So I have one for creator flow. I have another one for planning. I have another one for recording. And I also have one for work. The creator mode or the creator flow mode is my deep state when it comes to creating content. So when this is actually turned on, only my creative apps are visible on the home screen. My notifications are completely in creator flow mode. I've blocked out notifications, and my lock screen and home screen reflects this mode. All right. So if you notice, I have taken off the intelligent breakthrough and silencing from this mode. I've also silenced notifications from people as well as apps. And I've also customized my screens, my home and lock screen. If I'm working in a specific app, it can also automatically turn on that focus mode. So you can simply go to add schedule and you can either choose a time of day if you're in a specific location, or you can choose an app, Final Cut Pro. All right, so anytime I'm using Final Cut Pro, it will put it into that creator flow mode. And I also have my filter for my calendar because I want to see when it comes to those time blocks of content planning on my calendar. So this is what my home screen looks like when I'm in recording mode because these are the apps I'm constantly talking about. But if I want to switch over to my creator flow mode, notice my home screen changes. This is what my lock screen looks like. It is very focused, it's very intentional. I just wanted to show my calendar as the widget, and it's also showing the apps that I use when I'm doing creating, right? If I go into my calendar, for example, notice it's showing filtered by focus. Moments where I was planning content or I would have blocked out planning content, that is the only thing that would show. If I turn it off, you would see everything. But if I turn it on, you will only see that is pertaining to content planning because that is how I would have set it up inside of my settings. So there you have it. My focus modes, each one creates a different environment for the type of work. And because they're automated, I'm not relying on my own willpower to switch between them. The iPad does it for me. Now let's talk about the settings that most people never touch, but it makes a huge difference. Now this is going to be your productivity setups. So let's go into settings on your iPad, and then we are going to come over to multitasking and gestures. Now, if you are up to date with your iPad OS 26, you know that they've introduced the windowing, and this has been such a game changer. The windowed apps where you can size and have multiple apps opening at the same time. And this allows you to do your multitasking. But I also have been using windowed apps, and I've also been using Stage Manager depending on how I'm working. Now, when it comes to Stage Manager, this is sometimes an underused feature even before iPad OS 26, but it lets you have multiple windows open simultaneously. It gives you that desktop experience on your iPad. But one of the most underrated feature is that you can group your apps based on what you're working. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you go into Stage Manager, notice it's going to show what are your apps that are appearing on the left-hand side here. But let's say, for example, I open Final Cut Pro. All right, I open Logic Pro, and I open Pixelmator Pro. Notice in my focus modes are going to be switching based on what I'm doing. All right. So what you're going to do, you're going to tap and hold down on that app, and I'm going to drop it where Pixelmator is, and it's going to open Pixelmator. All right. It is a bit tricky. So if I open Final Cut, if you notice on the left hand side here, notice that these two are already grouped here. So if I go into my calendar, for example, and I bring it over, I can tap and hold down on Final Cut, and I can bring it into that group. And what it's going to do, it's going to open. So this is going to be 3 apps that are open simultaneously. So if I switch over back to settings, notice on the left hand side here, I have these 3 apps grouped. To be honest, I stumbled upon this feature because I was trying to drag something with the windowing, and I noticed that those 2 of the apps were grouped together. I was like, wait a minute. This is such a good productivity setting because if you are working, let's say, with freeform and notes, that's a good way you can group. And for me, this makes that pro level feel of your iPad really kicks in. So I have 3 groups. One for creating and editing, one for planning, and the other one to check my schedule and make sure that I am executing. Now, we know that notifications are the biggest productivity killer on any device. This is my rule when it comes to notifications on my iPad. If an app doesn't need to interrupt me, it doesn't get notification permissions. So let me show you how you can change this. So inside of settings, we are going to go down to notifications, the schedule summary option, where I have 3 different schedules at 3 different times. And then I prioritize notifications using Apple Intelligence. So I prioritize notifications based on a specific app. If that app doesn't require a notification, all I simply do is turn it off. That's how you would actually turn it off. You can also turn on your summarize notifications and state which apps you want to summarize those notifications. And you can also change notifications based on a specific app. So let's say, for example, with Canva, I don't want it to come immediately. I can put it in my schedule summary, and it can be between one of these 3. I don't want to see a badge turned on, and I can also turn off prioritize notification and leave on the summarize notifications. I allow notification based on my focus modes, the time of day, and how I work each and every day. Everything else, I don't have any social media on my iPad outside of YouTube. Notifications from YouTube, emails, news, they're either off or set to deliver silently, and this alone recovers hours of focus time every single week. Now, the third setting for my iPad is shortcuts. I have set up shortcuts to automate the transitions between work modes. For example, when I tap into my creator flow mode, it activates that particular mode by silencing everything, and it also opens the different apps that I need to work with. If I'm in planning mode, it does the same. So I'm going to go into shortcuts, and I'm going to show you some of the iPad shortcuts that I have designed, as well as automation. Now, on the left hand side, I have my 3 folders. I do have the same thing for my iPhone and my Mac OS. But when it comes to my iPad, these are the different shortcuts I have, whether it's to have my evening routine, my creator flow, my morning reset. Those 3 are automated, because if you look on the left, I have automation. I have 3 automations. Now, one is for 8:30 in the morning, which is my morning reset, which means that at 8:30 every morning, it's going to run my morning reset. In that, it opens Apple reminders to my Max My Day Out list. It also will open Apple Notes so I can do a brain dump of what is on my mind this morning. And it also turn on my work mode. Now, here's the thing. These small settings and small changes have a real impact over time. It takes some time or several different moments for you to set this up, but they'll long-term benefits are so worth it. Now, if you have been following me for a hot minute, you'll know that my entire workflow is designed inside of the Apple ecosystem. Whether it's Apple Freeform to plan out my content, journal to document how my day and week has been going, calendar, which holds the reality of my time, Apple Notes, it's my content hub where it captures my content ideas, and reminders, which is my execution layer where I put in my top 3 priorities for the day or the week, and it holds me accountable to getting the things done. These are the apps that I open every single day that keeps me consistent, and it's a very simple workflow for me as someone who uses my iPad as a daily driver every single day. Your iPad is one of the most powerful creative tool available, but most people are using maybe 20% of what it can do. The right physical setup removes friction, the right digital setup removes distraction. Put those two things together and you have a workspace that actually supports your best work. If you want to check out the MOFT Dynamic Folio or any of the other accessories I showed today, I have linked everything inside of the description. Use my code for a discount at checkout. Drop a comment and let me know what's the one thing in your iPad setup you want to improve. Is it your physical setup, the apps, or the settings? As always, your tech should be working for you and not against you. I'll see you in the next one.